Hello everyone. As promised, I've got the first of three in-depth reviews of the Bath & Body Works 2014 Destinations Candle Collection. My most recent video was a quick overview of the 9 that I've purchased, just giving you sort of my thoughts and their scent notes. These three videos coming up now, this mini series here, will be the in-depth reviews in groups of 3, just to keep the videos a little shorter, so that I can still give a nice full in-depth sniff and description for you. Again, I've got 9 of the 12 candles. The other 3 are London Calling, South Beach Sun, which is a sort of a coconut blend, and then finally Emerald Isle for Ireland, that is supposed to be, sort of green clover, and it's said to smell similar to rain-kissed leaves. So I don't have that one yet. I haven't smelled it yet, but hopefully I'll be able to review that one for you soon as well. But let's dive right into the first 3, sort of the European collection of the Destinations line. We've got the Greek Isles, Fleur de Provence, and Mad About Madrid. So first, again, we'll dive into the Greek Isles. So a really beautiful picture of, and if you notice here, I have some Christmas lights here in the background, so let's sniff some spring and summer candles while Christmas decorations are up, right? The Greek Isles, a really beautiful picture of what I believe is Santorini. Correct me if I'm wrong, if anyone knows. And this says, the tagline for this one is Fresh Figs in Paradise. Now, there was actually a Sea to Santorini candle in the last Destination Candles collection that was very similar to Oceanside, Paris Daydream, Flirt, that whole, line of similar fragrance candles. This one is not, however, a straight-up repackage of the Sea to Santorini, which I wouldn't have minded. I did like that scent. It definitely grew on me, but it was very similar to Oceanside, so it was a little bit boring in that sense. Now, the notes on this one read, an epic blend, it's a big claim there, an epic blend of fresh figs, green cypress, and juicy melon takes you on a Greek Isle getaway. Island hopping adventure awaits. So fresh figs, we've smelled them before in some Bath & Body Works candles, primarily Acorn and Fig, aka Autumn Day. Green cypress essentially is like a pine. I believe it's kind of a sweet, kind of woody pine, not your sort of astringent balsam, more of a warmer kind of pine. And then, of course, juicy melon could kind of mean anything. Now, sniffing this, I'll try just sniffing the lid. That might be enough. This is very interesting. This isn't a slam dunk. I don't think people are going to smell it and be obsessed with it. It's a little bit strange. I'd say it's heavy on the fig note, where it's kind of like, fig almost makes it a little bit powdery. I think that's what I'm sniffing in there that makes it powdery, almost slightly musky. I'd almost go borderline like a white musk, but I think that's probably the figs, because I think they can kind of either go creamy or, yeah, almost kind of musky the way that they do in Autumn Day. Like that similar, doesn't smell like Autumn Day, but the similar intensity that you get like in that part of your nose when you smell Autumn Day, you get in this one. Now it's supposed to be that along with green cypress. Green cypress has been in some of their like their White Barn collections. I suppose it's there. That's probably just, it really just kind of blends deeply in with the other notes, so you don't really pick it out as anything particularly green or woody. And then juicy melon, that's a little bit of a stretch for me. I would say it's got a good component of the sort of ozone or fresh air or saltwater, salt air fragrance that we get from Oceanside. If you have watched my Oceanside Flirt Paris Daydream comparison video from, I want to say last summer, I get a little more in-depth talking about what that note in particular means, like the ocean air, ozone, which is what you sort of smell after a rainfall, or what you smell when you're sort of near an ocean. And I get some of that. They don't say that it's in there, but I get that. And they did say in Oceanside, they mentioned melon, which there is a sweetness to this, but it's damp. It's not a juicy sweetness. It's really dampened by the intensity of the fig with sort of that ocean air. So it borders on, again, a little bit powdery, slightly musky, but not a warm, heavy musky. That definitely like the kind of like ocean air, bright, kind of white, powdery musk. Not perfumey by any means. No, if I just said perfumey, then scratch that. Not perfumey, but definitely not not fresh in the typical bright or even tropical sense. So it's interesting. It's a bit of a stretch for them. So in that sense, I appreciate it, and I love the lid. Let's move on to Fleur de Provence. And I'm not sure I'm not doing that in a French accent, so forgive me. Now, as you know, any of my regular viewers know, I love lavender. You can put lavender in any candle, and it's almost a guarantee that I will love it. Anything herbal, spa, along those lines, I'm usually going to be into, and this is no exception. And especially when you say verbena, I loved verbena waters. Came back as, I believe it was Dockside or Lakeside in that collection earlier this year as a test scent that did not go wide. But verbena is just a really nice, very, very green, kind of herbal leaf, really. It's usually watery, it's green, but it's intense. And of course, lavender, everyone knows there are many forms of lavender. Sometimes they smell astringent, almost metallic, medicinal. Sometimes they just smell sweet and soft because it is a floral, but it can really go in many directions. So if you want to learn more about lavender, not that I'm trying to promote all of my old videos here, but I do have an older video called All About Lavender, where I talk kind of the history, the different forms of lavender, and then just go through a bunch of household products that are all scented with lavender, just because I realized I had so many lavender products. Now with this one, this is Lavender Verbena Bouquet. So again, this isn't just your typical straight lavender, which I would have been happy with. There's your little lid, it's sweet looking. Fleur de Provence, Lavender Verbena Bouquet with just a photo of a field of lavender blossoms. The notes on this one: a very French blend of lavender buds, verbena, and vanilla that conjures up a walk through fields and fields of flowers, escape to the south of France. So they're telling us lavender, verbena, and vanilla. Vanilla kind of throws me a little bit. Now sniffing this, it's really unlike any lavender they've done before, which is impressive. It's not, it's not your lavender vanilla aromatherapy. It's not your lavender vanilla, core white barn, gold lid collection. That is wonderful. It's not the test scent straight up lavender. It's not the gold lid piece from the aromatherapy home collection that was a test collection about a year and a half, 2 years ago. It's not the French, what did they call it? From one of the French, the Paris candle collections, where it was, I think maybe the first time there was Paris Daydream, they had Paris Daydream, I think it was called Lavender Market, and it was lavender and spearmint. I really loved it. It was intense with spearmint and lavender. It didn't burn very well, but that was a repackage of Peace from the Aromatherapy Home collection. And it's not even like that. It really is a new blend. It's not my absolute favorite. I think burning it may be nicer. The lavender is fairly soft. It's sweeter than I would imagine lavender or verbena to be. The verbena is not a super intense green verbena that we've come to expect. Sort of like there tends to be a little bit of verbena, maybe almost like in a lemon mint leaf candle. Again, verbena waters. This is much sweeter than I expected it. Almost a tiny bit candy-like, or there's definitely a fruit in here that they're not telling us. I'm not sure what it could be. I do like this. It's not an ultimate slam dunk best lavender they've ever had. I could see myself getting another one, but I don't know that I would really stock up on multiples of this. It's almost like, now granted, there's either a mystery floral in here or some sort of sweet fruit. Like something a little bit juicy. I'd almost say melon, but I feel like that's just because melon's in my head from smelling the Greek Isles. Gosh, I wish I knew. And it's not even really... Oh, no, I'm sorry. I know what it is. I thought of this earlier, and it hit me again. Lime. There is a heavy note of lime in this candle. At least that's what I detect. So you've got lavender, a good 40% lavender, maybe 30% of a light verbena. I really get almost no vanilla, except that there's a softening of lavender and verbena that I suppose is done by the vanilla, but I don't sniff this and smell any vanilla really whatsoever. I get a heavy note of lime. Almost like, now this is a really old throwback to like almost 3 years ago, from the very original Boardwalk collection that had toasted almond, cotton candy, Yeah, a bunch of those. One of them, actually, it was also the original salty caramel. It had lime ice, and I get it. It reminds me a little bit of the lime ice candle in that there's like a good 20-30% of it that has a lime note, which you don't get much straight lime. It's always citrus blends. But in this, I get like a cool, sweet, almost like a key lime, which again, that shouldn't be in this candle, but it's totally what I'm getting. It could be lavender lime, really, in my opinion. Now, when I burn this, it could be a completely different story. It does smell softer when I smell the wax. The wax is a little cold, though. That may have something to do with it. And sometimes, it's not always best to smell the lids. It does trap fragrance, but sometimes I think that the rubbery kind of gasket here will sometimes trap like an intenser, more intense version of the scent, or like a certain note that just kind of sticks to it, if that's possible. Which is maybe why I'm getting lime. So yeah, I'd get like a lavender lime verbena. Bouquet, sure, but it's not really. I don't think there really is another floral. It's interesting. I like it. I'm not sure that everyone will love it though. And then finally, Mad About Madrid. We go over to Spain. So that's a pretty photo there. Again with that lid. And they say, Under the Spanish Moon. The notes on this one, a lively blend of dark cedarwood and soft musk gives way to the perfect hint of Spanish pepper, olé. So they're not giving us much. Cedarwood, musk, and pepper. Could kind of go in many, many directions. Let's get some better lighting. There we go. Now you can see it. I really love this one. Again, this and a few other of the candles are what makes this collection interesting to me, in the sense that it's not purely a marketing vehicle to repackage, tropical scents, or, former drink collections, or things like that, our tropicals and fruits. With this, it really is that they're going for either something authentic to the area, or just, it's really a more cohesive collection, that is a true mix of sweets and tropicals and florals and herbals and, for lack of a better word, colognes or perfumes. Again, I hate using that word, but in this case, actually, I really do get a specific cologne in mind when I sniff this. Now, again, the notes on this, pepper, soft musk, and dark cedarwood, that's not giving us much information. Those are sort of base notes that could be used in many, many candles. But when I first sniffed this, it smelled familiar, and then it hit me what it reminded me of, and now that's all I can think of when I sniff it, and that is Dolce & Gabbana's The One for Men. Came out in about 2008. Now there is a The One for Women perfume. Of course, I'm talking about the cologne. And I looked up the notes on that to see if they were similar, because in the past I've smelled a few other candles from Bath & Body Works that smell like colognes. Obviously, everyone knows that mahogany teakwood is essentially a duplicate of Abercrombie & Fitch's Fierce cologne. Boathouse Row from the Lakeside collection was extremely similar to Burberry London for men. And then this one, again, Dolce & Gabbana, The One for Men. And the notes on that, when I looked it up, are top notes of grapefruit, coriander, and basil. Mid notes of cardamom, ginger, and orange blossom. And base notes of, surprise, cedarwood and tobacco. Now, tobacco people are scared of in fragrances. There's no tobacco, certainly nothing smoky. If there is tobacco, it's a tobacco leaf. It's almost more towards an herbal, not anything like a cigarette or smoke. And yeah, it really does remind me of that. So if you smelled it before, or if you go into your local Sephora or Macy's or wherever you buy fragrances and sniff it, that's really, really close to what this is. Now, I'm not saying there's necessarily grapefruit and coriander and cardamom and ginger and orange blossom and basil and all that in this candle, but there's got to be some of it. Let me sniff this to see if I can get... Yeah, the wax again. The wax is a little cold, so it's hard to get a good, strong sniff from it. Yeah, there is, of course, a cedarwood. There is a soft musk. Pepper, sort of similar to your black pepper bergamot. Not anything actually peppery, not in the food sense. More just in sort of like that spice, the spice note, which is fantastic. I really love this. I know some folks are scared of, the sense that they sort of just write them off as, oh, it's cologne-y. but you know, it's not overly heavy. It's not overly masculine. There is something very sweet, not sweet. There's something very, in the fragrance world, sweet to it. So it's not like your grandpa's cologne that, you know, you were little and he hugged you and you would choke. Um, it's a little bit, not really sensual, but it is masculine. Um, but if those scents smell so good on people who wear them, I'm not sure why people are scared to burn them in their homes. We don't always have to just have, you know, honeycomb cakes and cupcakes and, you know, florals and baked goods burning in our homes for fragrances. There's something to be said for a true, really nice kind of sophisticated blend that isn't a duplicate of, you know, a fruit or a food item or a drink or even a direct, you know, plant or flower, but just a blend of, you know, multiple ingredients that come together that just make you happy. You know, that just really, you smell it and you say, oh my gosh, that smells so good. And it just can, you know, calm you or relax you, whatever. Now with this, to get back on track, I suppose, now they say, you know, basil and grapefruit, coriander, cardamom. Maybe some cardamom, because I do love the lemongrass cardamom aromatherapy from Bath and Body Works years ago. I can get a little bit of a hint of that. It's sort of like a slightly brighter, sweeter black pepper bergamot if you're looking at other, you know, cologne scents from Bath and Body Works. But it's kind of hard to describe. Really, just smell Dolce & Gabbana the one, and that's really what this smells like. So I urge you to give it a chance, even if you're not usually someone who likes the quote-unquote cologne. This isn't Axe body spray. You know, this isn't something that's just some teenage boy cheap crap. Or, quite honestly, it's not even the men's body spray from Bath & Body Works, which I would probably never wear. It really is just, it's something else, you know, unto itself. So I would say give that a shot. I'm actually going to buy a couple of these because I really do love it. Am I going to burn it every day? No. But it really is, you know, certain times of the year, certain times of the day, you know, this could be really a very nice scent to, you know, to moodify your home. So that's my little unexpected rant on, you know, cologne fragrances. Now again, this is just the overview on the first three, the Greek Isles, Fleur de Provence, and Mad About Madrid. Of these three, I'd say my absolute favorite is Mad About Madrid Under the Spanish Moon. Your mileage may vary on that. If you have questions about these or any others, hit me up. As I've been mentioning, and I'll continue to mention, there is a Touch the Fire Twice Twitter handle that is just Touch the Fire with underscores between them. And then more importantly, there's Touch the Fire Twice Facebook community page. So please go there, like that. I'll be posting updates about the candles, maybe a little bit more as I burn them or new finds before I do videos, you know, snapping photos of new candles that I found, just to give you sort of a heads up of what I'm discovering and what, of course, others are discovering along the way as well. So that is just facebook.com/touchthefiretwice. And stay tuned for the next couple of videos. And then I do promise still to do a winter holiday picks video as well as a Bath & Body Works Pine comparison video that will be coming up ASAP as well. As always, thanks so much for watching and take care.